Hey, Matsuki. Notification squad. Hey, good to hear. Hey, Eternal. How you guys doing? How are you guys doing? We got Matsuki, Anthony P, Omar, Eternal, and Lil Pep. Hello, everyone, and Benji Comics. How's my day? How's my day been? Pretty good. Pretty boring. I woke up, made a long video for tomorrow, got some food, watched a video on YouTube or two. Haven't really done much today. I was playing a little Call of Duty with my friends earlier, but then I kind of ditched them to do the stream, unfortunately. I just wanted to do a solo stream. I felt bad because I feel like they were expecting to play Red Dead with me, and then I was like, I kind of just want to do the stream solo. That sucks, because they add a lot to my streams. I just, you know, sometimes I don't like dealing with... It's a little overwhelming, you know, having, like, friends and a chat and everything. I'd like to just have a chat to deal with tonight. Oh, my color correction was turned off on my webcam. That's weird. Okay. Call of Duty Vanguard is disappointing. Champion Hill is. We don't know anything about the rest of it yet. I haven't heard anything about the Battlefield beta. Someone says, how do I make money? Do all of the story missions, and then once you get all the gold from that, I recommend... I don't know. A good way to make money might be Call to Arms, although I haven't really tried Call to Arms since the triple money, triple XP thing wore off, so I'm not sure if that's even an accurate statement anymore. So for this stream, though, we're just going to be kind of goofing around. We're just going to be chill. We're going to do some daily challenges, play for about an hour, and then wrap it up. I haven't played Red Dead in a minute, so my aim and stuff's going to be really rusty. I got to make sure I'm in defensive mode because I am not in any position to be dealing with real people. I am very, very, very rusty. In real life, become a shitty streamer. There you go. People will send you money just to make fun of you, even. Can't wait for this next rant. Yep, it's fun. I put a lot of work into the video. I hope everybody likes it. Yeah, they seem to be pretty open about feedback, but then again, IW seemed to be after their beta, and so did Treyarch, so we'll see. Oh, the thermal scope, Jesus. Thoughts on Apex Legends? Not really my thing. Okay, so we might also do a delivery, but we'll see how I feel about doing that. Is Red Dead Series X optimized? No, not yet, unfortunately. Hopefully it does get a Series X patch relatively soon. I feel like my screen's a little too contrasty. I don't want it to be washed out, but I also don't want it to be hard to tell what the heck's going on. There we go. I have not played Psychonauts either, no. Psychonauts was never really a thing I was into. I might try the new one out sometime. I've heard you don't need to play the first one, but you should. So, who knows. Alright, Common Bull Rush. This is how we're going to start off the stream. We need to pick 5 Common Bull Rush for today's daily challenge, and it's like, that's easy peasy. I just got to go find some water. Once I find the water, it'll be fun. Yeah, there definitely should be an FOV slider for Vanguard. They knew how much we wanted one for Modern Warfare and Warzone, so... Yeah, it still runs at only 30 FPS, which is kind of disappointing. There's not even like an FPS boost option like there is on some other games. But I feel like Rockstar wants to release an official Series X patch for this game, more so than an FPS boost thing. So we're gonna go to the river down here in front of us, and I'm guessing there's gonna be some Common Bull Rush down there. I don't watch shitty streamers, by the way. Fair enough, Matsuki. Thank you so much for the $2 Canadian. I appreciate you, bud. Thought about playing an old game like the original Battlefield 2 or Black Ops 1. I've streamed the entire Black Ops 1 campaign before, and I've actually done some streams playing old Battlefront. I wouldn't mind doing some more retro-y
I
things.
don't watch Shish Thai streamers BTW.
Am I going the right way, or did I get turned around? Yeah, I got turned around. I'm such a dunce. Such a flippin' dunce. Nice to see you, Spartacus. Water's nice. Yep, we gotta get some water, and we'll grab some common bull rush. This will be nice. We'll just do daily challenges and chat. You guys just ask me questions in the chat, and we can just hang out. You should stream Call of Duty Ghosts. I might. Last time I streamed COD Ghosts, I was streaming its campaign and got really bored. Not really a big fan of that game's campaign, especially for a second playthrough. But for multiplayer, if I could find lobbies, I could maybe make some content out of that. Now, am I going the wrong way again? Sort of. What the hell? There needs to be a compass on the map. There, I said it. I actually want to do a Call of Duty Ghosts retrospective. I've done a couple of videos on Call of Duty Ghosts over the years, but I want to do an actual meaty retrospective. Even if I can't get online gameplay, if I can just get bot gameplay or gameplay against my friends, I want to talk about map design, create a class, gunplay, and all that. It'd be fun. Yeah, I kind of want to play Red Dead with viewers sometime. I think that'd be kind of fun. I'll probably make a chat on my Discord for Red Dead fans. And then I can go in, I can just pop into that chat, message anybody that's in that chat, and just be like, hey, or channel, I should say. Just pop in and be like, hey, I'm going to be playing Red Dead. Hit me up. Here's my gamer tag. I play on Xbox. I could host custom lobbies, but I don't want to deal with random people when trying to film a retrospective. Because then I have to deal with people I don't know in my lobby, and that can make recording stuff kind of difficult if they want to be assholes. And yeah, Red Dead needs crossplay. It certainly could use it. I wouldn't mind it. Call of Duty Ghosts is weird for everybody. I mean, it's a really weird game. It has a lot of features that Call of Duty had never seen before, while using the design language of like Modern Warfare 2. There's not gonna be any common bull rush around here because this is swampy. I'm pretty sure bull rush does not spawn here actually, so we went the wrong way. We want to go more to probably like the Dakota River, so it's gonna be a bit of a ride, but we'll do fine. Have you tried the Division 2? Hey, Mechanized and Weaponized. Thanks for the $5. I have tried Division 2, and I did enjoy it. None of my friends really ever wanted to play it all together, and I'm not really into how much of a looter shooter it is. It's fun. It's just not a game I want to sink time into.
Have you tried Division 2? You can play with teammates or solo. It's a fantastic game.
Do you use aim assist with free aim? Yeah, I think I use 75% strength aim assist with the free aim. And that's just because like analog aiming at 30 FPS is not that intuitive. I don't like lock on because then the game's making decisions for me, but when I point my gun at somebody, I want it to help me a little bit. Not so much that it tracks things up into the air, but if I check, it should be at 30, it should be about at 75% strength. Although, yeah, see, it's supposed to be on, yeah, it's like 75% here, and then I usually use full on horseback, because horseback's obviously much harder to aim from. Yeah, I have very few issues with Call of Duty Ghosts now, except mostly its aesthetic, visibility, and streaks, but yeah. That kind of stuff, like setting up Call of Duty Ghosts on PC and stuff to play that way, it's a tedious thing, and it's not going to add anything to my experience for reviewing the game. So that's probably why. Also, none of my friends would ever play that, so I'd just be playing that solo, whereas at least on my Xbox, I could get my friends to join in and play with me. So that makes that a lot more enticing. Do you EDC? No, I don't know what that means. Unless that means eat the cock, which would, no. Full free aim? I don't know. Like, I usually play with some amount of aim assist on console. Analog stick aiming without any aim assist is rough, especially at a 30 FPS refresh rate. That's pretty rough for me. in Call of Duty or Halo at least, or even like a Battlefield game, I can sometimes. Rainbow Six Siege was also an example of games where I could do no aim assist at times. Because the game's a lot smoother and is a lot more responsive, I wouldn't describe Red Dead as intuitive and responsive. So I'm gonna go ahead and say no. I don't feel like it'd be an evolution. I feel like it would just be handicapping myself off. Like, again, analog sticks have crazy, like they have, between dead zones and controlling something like, whoa. Oh, see, I just hit Y to pull out a gun because I've been playing some Call of Duty. But like it's not going to aim for me. It's just when I aim at something, it's going to slow down my aim. Because it's not going to aim for me. I can aim next to this deer all night and it will not aim for me. But if I aim at the deer, then it helps a little bit. And I think that's fair. I think it's a good balance. I don't want the game to make decisions for me, but I also know that analog sticks are shit for fine control. So. What role would you want added to the game next? I would love a detective role, sort of like a sheriff role, where you go around breaking up crimes and you solve long-form crimes. Man vs. History did a really good video on how a lawman role could play out, where you have to basically do like long-form hunting, like you have to like do a long-form hunt of somebody, and I think that'd be kind of interesting. And then also at the same time, you could just go ahead and break up bar fights and stop petty crimes. Like, instead of poachers or government agents, revenue agents, you would come across a stagecoach robbery and then you can stop it. And I think that'd be cool. I would honestly love like a duality system too, like add sort of an outlaw role that it's all about robbing stagecoaches dynamically and all that. But then you can't have them both active at the same time. You have to toggle whether or not you want to be a good boy or be a bad boy. You can maybe only change once every in-game week or something. That'd be kind of interesting. Yeah, keyboard and mouse on console is pretty unresponsive, to say the least. All right, I've definitely seen common bull rush around this area, so we're gonna go around the shore and just take a look. I've actually never been hunting. I almost went on a couple hunting trips, and I'd still like to, but I've never actually been out hunting. I've been out shooting, and I've been out camping, but I've never really melded the two. Kind of, yeah. Let's see. There's 500,000 people in southeast Louisiana without electricity. That sucks. Yeah, I heard about there's a pretty gnarly storm. Hey, that looks like common bull rush to me. Yeah, there's a frog right here. What the fuck's this? What the frog doing? Frog's dying. That's what's happening there. Oh, they snuck some burdock root in with my common bull rush. All right, Trudeau, pick it up. Oh yeah, you could be like a Pinkerton in one role and then like a horrible outlaw in the other. Oh yeah, this creek looks nice. Oh yeah, this whole game looks nice, man. It's awesome. I love just chilling in this game. Trudeau, you disrespectful horse. Okay, there we go. I can't carry any more common bull rush. Fuck you, game. Common bull rush. I'm gonna discard all of this because I don't need it. I want the challenge done more than I want common bull rush. Oh yeah, we got Mr. Business, Beans, and Trudeau. I'm good at naming horses. And if it isn't obvious to newer viewers why this horse is named Trudeau, just look at the color of his face. There you go. Ah, yes. Is def mode full free aim? I don't know what def mode is. Yeah, okay, we got daily challenge done. All right. That's handy. Oh, wrong button. Love to see them involve the Pinkertons. Yeah. That'd be fun. That's the role I'd like to see them add. Oh, defensive mode. Defensive mode doesn't... I think it just removes... Yeah, I think it does kind of put you in free aim. Alright, I need to cook some seasoned plump bird. I'm pretty sure plump bird counts for turkeys, eh? Also need to get some creeping thyme. Skin some oxen. And some Virginia possums. Okay, a lot of animals. Alright, so let's go find some turkeys. Yeah, I think in defensive mode you can't lock on to anybody. I think so. I'm not sure. Controller's still on. It's a good thing my new controller shows up on Tuesday, because my Elite Series 2 just disconnected randomly. That's nerve-wracking. Just got back to Idaho from AZ. It's strange to see AZ greener. Yeah, Idaho's been under a bit of a heat spell. A bit dry, I'd say. Yeah, I don't know if defensive takes away aim assist. I would imagine it does, because it doesn't want you to shoot anybody at all. But I've never tested it. You'd have to look that up. When I'm in defensive mode, I never pick on real players unless they've shot at one of my friends. So it rarely ever happens like that. So. But the aim assist is like, when it's at max, I will admit it's a little strong, but like aim assist is like, I think that's a norm for controller games. It's the lock on that feels like an insult to my intelligence. And I have heard a good argument for aim lock on. In real life, when you go to aim a firearm, you don't point the gun and then wiggle your arm around. It's an extension of your body. You actually don't really have to fight it that much. So I get that, like, in real life, aiming a gun is not like this. But this is a video game, and I want the video game to feel satisfying and rewarding and skill-based, and I don't want to feel like the game is taking away a really important aspect of shooting from me. So, card build, please. My card build right now is Painted Black, Landon's Patience, Sharpshooter, and Fool Me Once. This was actually a sniper build I was using. I'm actually not going to use these cards. I love Landon's Patience and Sharpshooter with a rolling block rifle because it just guarantees that anyone you shoot straight up motherfucking dies. But I normally do Peak Condition, Fool Me Once, and Gunslinger's Choice. For damage, and then I usually will use, I think it's called, well, since I'm kind of running a defensive build, what I like to do is run Iron Lung. This is, yeah, you take much less damage depending on your stamina. You could do Iron Lung and then Peak Condition, but I like using Gunslinger's Choice when I'm playing solo. Yeah, there are people that do full free aim, and I get it. Like, if I was just a Red Dead player, I could probably get pretty good at just doing that. But you gotta understand, like, I like to play Call of Duty and Halo and Battlefield and stuff, so it's not really in the cards for me to put all of my muscle memory time into Red Dead. As much as I love Red Dead, it's not the game I want to be competitive in. I spend most of my time in Red Dead doing stuff like this, like picking mint and completing daily challenges and chilling with my friends. Isn't it like that if you're first person with iron sights? Oh yeah, first person with iron sights gets a little bit weird. I have trouble aiming with that. Oh, you're getting a new controller? Congratulations. Is it a boy or a girl? What's its name? I'm getting the Razer Tournament Edition controller. It's apparently the most durable controller on the market by a lot of different sources. It's the least complained about controller on the market right now. And because I play so many video games, because I, record a lot and everything, it's actually, I go through, I don't want to burn through Elite controllers anymore. I've burned through 3 Elite controllers in the last 3 years. That's a controller a year. It's not bad. I just don't want to spend $180 every time a bumper stops working. and the tournament edition is literally designed to go to tournaments. It's cost effective, it's durable, and that's what I want. I want cost effective, accurate, and durable. And that's the other thing. That's the other thing. Apparently it has some of the most accurate thumbsticks, and I really look forward to trying it. If you guys want, I'll do a review of it when I get my hands on it. Oh, sorry, Lenny, what were you asking? Lenny, when you say I'm ignoring your comments, apparently, and I look up and I see like 100 people that aren't you talking, then you just re-ask the question, man. You're not the only one in the chat, buddy. Makes sense. Respect your playstyle regardless. Hey, thanks. Your name is Sasha, but I'm gonna say thanks, man, anyway. As a universal sign of respect. Your bumpers stop working? Yeah, I mean, there's so much, like, as somebody who gets a lot of gameplay, like, I have so many hours in Red Dead and Call of Duty and Battlefield and Halo, and like Halo wore out my bumpers almost more than anything else because this is how you melee, you know. Do a retrospective on Battlefield 1? Maybe. I don't know. I don't want to play Battlefield 1. I kind of want to do a retrospective on Battlefield 5, actually. I've had some ideas for that. Painted Black with Focus Fire. I actually like Focus Fire and Slow and Steady and stuff like that, but Painted Black is good when you're playing solo and defensive because nobody can target you. My Elite controller didn't have problems for months. It's worn down over time. My left stick, I fixed my left stick's issue. That just had some dust in it, apparently. I blew it out with compressed air, and now it feels like brand new. I wish I would have done that a lot sooner. Still a little creaky, but it's all right. It's just the bumpers and connectivity, and it's just where it's not gonna last another Call of Duty. Scuff is, yeah, they're not really nice. Their warranties are bad. Their reliability is bad. There are so many complaints about their products. Their support is kind of awful. My friend has gone through 3 Scuff controllers, and it was hell for him every time. Like, I know there's always gonna be somebody that's like, I had great experiences with my Scuff, and it's like, yeah, and I, for the most part, had great experiences with my Elite controller. It's just, I want something more durable. I want something no frills that just has buttons on the back and nice bumpers that don't want to break. Now, you can get like a lot of years out of certain controllers. It just depends on how much you play, how you play. I'm not really a big button hitter. Like, I don't ever really rough up my controllers, but I do play fast sometimes, and despite what people think, I actually don't sit in corners every time I play Call of Duty. Oh yeah, Slippery. Slippery Bastard's annoying though. Yeah, I don't like it being in the game. I don't like getting ran up on by a griefer, and I like line up a headshot and my bullet misses because of added bloom, and then I get like hogtied and stabbed. Like, that gets annoying. That being said, I want to level it up and use it, but I'm looking for Creeping Time. I just need 2 more stacks of it, and apparently it spawns around this area, so hopefully I'll be lucky and find it. Oh, it used to not be that? Oh, I didn't know what they... Oh, did they change not just... They didn't just nerf it? Because I remember watching PvP Cat, and he was talking about it. I might have misunderstood his video. I could just be wrong. I'm not sure. Anything's possible. Yeah, the Elite controller is all features, no reliability, whereas like I would rather have a controller with less features and some reliability. I just want a controller that's going to last me nicely through a year. Not be falling apart at the end of the year, just last the whole year. Is Starfield going to be the killer app for the Xbox Series X like Bloodborne was for the PS4? It might be. I would be happy with that. That'd be cool. I really hope that Microsoft is talking to Bethesda right now and having conversations about a console-only game that would sell the Series X for people. But they also want to focus on the PC market. They don't really, their philosophy right now is not to tell PC players to buy a console. And that's kind of smart. Sony's going that way as well. That's why Sony exclusives are slowly popping up on Steam. is because Sony knows that PC players will not buy a console to play Death Stranding. They will not buy a console to play Horizon Zero Dawn or Days Gone. It's gonna be, whoa! I would not be surprised if perhaps Spider-Man even comes to it eventually. I don't know. That's kind of their big killer app, honestly. Like, Spider-Man is so much mass appeal. And Insomniac makes a damn good game. The stock controllers are more durable. That's true. But they also have less going on. It's easy to be a little more durable when you have less going on. Wow, I'm like maintaining like 100 conversations right now. It feels like, maybe not. Yep, I know it is. It might be well balanced. I just don't find Battlefield 1's core gunplay fun at all. Like, I just don't enjoy it. It doesn't help that my friends have, like, so I've been pretty upfront about the fact that I'm not a huge fan of Battlefield 1 or 5, but my friends are even less fans of it than I was, in the sense they wouldn't even really touch it with a 10-foot pole for a while. And so if I wanted to sit and play them, the only way I would probably be able to have any fun is with my friends, and they don't want to play the game. So you see my problem. You said you've been shooting guns. Which have you shot? I've shot 2 22s. One was a I don't remember what it was. It might have been a Ruger. Could have been a Mini 14. I'm not exactly sure. That was a long time ago. I fired a Colt Commando. Is it Colt Commander or Colt Commando? Either way, it was a 22 handgun. It was pretty fun. I have fired a 1911 and 45 ACP. What else have I fired? I have not fired a shotgun yet. That's the one thing I've really missed out on. I feel like every American should have fired a shotgun by now. I haven't done it. Sucks. LOL, a Ruger Mini 14 is a rifle? Yeah, it was a rifle. I fired 2 22s. One was a pistol, one was a rifle. I believe one was a Ruger something. The word Ruger comes to mind, but I don't know. I'd have to ask my brother, because he brought it out. It was kind of a spur of the moment. Hey, I have this 22, we can shoot it, and I didn't care. And we just fired it. I have heard that Mosins are dirt cheap and their ammo's dirt cheap. I'd love to fire a Mosin. I've actually heard they're pretty well-made rifles for especially if you just want target practice. You know, I'm not trying to like repel an army or anything. It'd be kind of fun to play around with a Mosin. Ah, creeping time. Am I just able to like spot herbs? I knew that was creeping time before I read it. No, when someone says they fired a 22, they did not mean a 223. Like, no, it was a 22 long rifle, yeah. Again, all I know is that it was a Ruger. It was brought out spur of the moment. It wasn't like the Colt. I don't know if it's a Colt Commander or Commando. I don't know what they're called. You guys can help me out with that. But that's that. It's kind of a short, almost 1911-esque looking sidearm. It was in 22. And then I won't go into my home defense guns. I hope people ask Rockstar to take away the crazy bloom on Slippery. I might start playing again. Yeah, that bloom is very annoying on Slippery. Okay, so I need to find some turkeys. Now, I could just look in my comment section today and find some turkeys, but I think we're gonna go and actually find the birds themselves. Oh, is that a collector's item? Yeah, that is. I haven't grabbed one of these in a second. You want a high point? Why do you want a high point? I've never fired a high point. I've seen them, I've held them. They don't feel very good. Got to shoot an AR-15 today. Nice. Very cool. The AK versus AR argument. I have not fired enough ARs and AKs or anything like that in order to really have an opinion. I will say it doesn't matter. What matters is what you want to fire. Like you could, I don't care about Pepsi versus Coke, Ford versus Chevy, AK versus AR. Things are good at different things. You'll have different preferences. If every AR broke in people's hands and every AK lasted 100 years, then it wouldn't be a competition, but that's clearly not the case, so who gives a shit? I don't think he wants to shoot a high point. He wants to shoot a high point. He wants to buy a Mosin Nagant and then use a high point as a target. Oh man, that's funny. Hey, collectible flower. I thought I felt a controller vibration. Howdy, Jack Williams. Nice to see you. Dude, I want to get a big cowboy hat. Next donation goes to a big cowboy hat that I can put on over my headphones when I play Red Dead. Next donation goes to a cowboy hat. That'll be cool. Go and just go live with my cowboy hat. That'd be neat. High points are ugly. They are massive uggo. Fuck, I know where there's some turkeys. Isn't the AK an AR? Carl, you shouldn't have typed that. And I shouldn't have read it. I should have been nice and not let that just fly under the radar. Someone tell him what AR means. What do you use for editing? I use a program called HitFilm Express. It served me well since 2015. Oh, Matsuki, that's $5. Nice, thank you so much for becoming a member, buddy. Appreciate you, dude. Get that hat. It has to get a big one. It has to go over the headphones. I'll have to kind of get like a novelty cowboy hat almost. Yes, Armalite, thank you. AR stands for augmented reality. You're a little confused, but you got the spirit. HitFilm Express, check. Yes, very good. I love it. I like that you just like you repeated it back and said check. I've said that to some people, like, oh yeah, I use HitFilm, and they're like, HitFilm? It's like, yes. You're just like, that's the name of the thing. I know how to Google stuff. Thank you, man. Single player games are better than multiplayer games. It's no competition for real, for real. Tell me you don't have any friends without telling me you don't have any friends. I'm sorry. I love single player games, dude. Ghost of Tsushima, Persona 5, Spider-Man PS4. They were some of my favorite, Death Stranding, some of my favorite video games I played in the last 10 years were single player PS4 exclusive games. God, Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey. This game's story mode. Devil May Cry 5. Kingdom Hearts 3. But, man, a night with a group of friends playing video games. If a gaming god came down and said, you either get to never play single player games again or never play with your bros again, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm gonna always play with my friends. That's I'd be so sad. Sean Gray, thanks for becoming a member, buddy. I think you've been a member before, huh? Well, thank you so much. Two members on one stream. Thank you guys so much. Oh yeah, well MMOs are something else. Yes, you have. Yeah, I've seen your name green before. Thank you so much, Sean. I appreciate you, buddy. Ooh, 1866 model Emir. Oh, that's still cool. 1866 new model army. That's cool. Oh God, that cleaner. We have this like we need to clean out our AC unit. It just kind of smells rancid. Luckily, your boy. Some of you are gonna find this cringe. Actually, some people apparently hate Febreze, right? But I'm one of those F words. I almost said the F word. I can't believe it. I almost got super canceled. I'm one of those guys that loves the fall season, all right? And honestly, I heard voices, I guess it was in the game. Febrez's apple cinnamon scent is back, and I'm so excited. This is the limited edition fall scent. And while you guys will not be able to smell the amazing apple cinnamonness I am putting in my bedroom, I will, so fuck yourself. Nice. Now my room smells like apple cinnamon, and yours doesn't. I am living the high life, a life of luxury and high class, and $2 bottles of Febreze. And you are sitting there reeking of Doritos, Mountain Dew, and likely semen. So I win. I don't know why I'm bragging about my Febreze. Hawaiian. Yes, I love their Hawaiian scent as well. I'm a connoisseur. I bought the wood scent so I can smell so my room can just smell like the lumber aisle at a Home Depot. And if you mix it with the apple, it actually has a pretty cool like outside smell. It's very nice. Oh, you bought pumpkin candles? Okay, so you're one of those nerds that likes fall too. All right. I absolutely love fall season, guys. I don't know. I'm a huge sucker for it. I love the pumpkins and the leaves and the orange colored lights. Like, I love that I have an RGB remote for all my lights in my room, so I can just like switch them all to like a really nice warm orange if I want to. Now I look like I'm inside of an orange, but whatever. Gas station, Home Depot lumber aisle. There's another one though. Oh God, coastal mornings, northern coastal mornings. That's a smell you won't get in a bottle. Gotta cover up the smell of my parents' disappointment. Okay. Make the ladies think you're in there just building shit. Babe, don't come in. I'm constructing a deck. Fall is a C tier season? Nah, man. Fall is B, winter's A, spring is C. Bugs waking up, allergies, days starting to get longer, that's cringe. Ooh, my bumper is giving the fuck out. I hate spring. Summer, at least, it's like, yeah, there's bugs and it's hot out, but barbecue, long walks at night. But then there's like mosquitoes. God, I hate summer. Dude, rain is, fucking love rain. But I like autumn rain. In Idaho, I get a lot of rain in autumn. So like, man. You get fall, oh, you have fall allergies. That'll fuck you up. I don't have those. There's nothing in fall that fucks me up, really. It's great. And also, like, I have apple trees in my backyard, so like in fall, like apples fall and the yard kind of smells. It's like it's a relaxing smell of like dying plants and rotting apples, and somehow it makes me nostalgic for falls of childhoods past. Not trying to be an edgelord, Boom, but you're typing in all caps, and that's annoying. What do you genuinely enjoy more, the COD or Battlefield franchise? Franchise-wise, Call of Duty. I'm a sucker for COD. I can play any Call of Duty and have any amount of fun, whereas there are certain Battlefield games I don't want to touch with a 10-foot pole. Even if you bought a 5-foot extension on that 10-foot pole, it still wouldn't touch it. Luckily, there are 20-foot poles in which I will poke some Battlefield titles with, but I'm rambling like an idiot. I don't like every Battlefield game. There are certain Battlefield games I absolutely have no fucking feelings for at all. Oh, turkeys! I need to kill these turkeys! Run them down, Trudeau. Run them down like the racism allegations. Do it. Run them down. Hold on, Trudeau. I gotta get my shotgun. Is Battlefield gonna flop or win? No way to tell. There's no way to tell with with EA and DICE, whether their game is going to be good or bad. DICE doesn't have any consistency to how they design games, and EA has no consistency as to whether or not they want their games to live. It's fine. I'm just messing with you, Avery. I think Battlefield will be fun this year, but it depends on what dosage of fun I'm willing to have or I'm accepting of. It's like, is it going to be good? Like, is it going to be fun for 3 months, or is it going to be fun for 6? Is it going to be fun like Battlefield 5? Like, because Battlefield 5 I had fun with for like a couple months, and then I was like, wow, this is boring, and I put it down, and now I'm pretty sure if I went to the Microsoft store right now, I'm almost positive I can find Battlefield on sale for like $6. Like, when the newest Battlefield is $6 because it flopped that hard, and Battlefield 1 lost half of its player base within half of a year before even all the DLCs came out, partially because the DLCs divided up the player base, and that pissed people off. People were really getting tired of paid DLC around that time. The Vanguard Alpha? Yeah, I did play it. I played it a lot. The game mode sucked ass. The mechanics seemed pretty sweet, but the game mode sucked meaty butt. Battlefield actually has TDM and domination, by the way. Yep, they've had that since, I think, Battlefield 3. That's not the point, though. DICE doesn't have any lockdown on what a Battlefield game is going to feel like. And that's the sad thing. Like, I want to love DICE and I want to love Battlefield, but EA is shit with their live service games, and DICE doesn't have any consistency as a group of developers. Oh yeah, like anything, Sean Gray, if the right decisions are made, it could be amazing, but there's no reason to assume that's what's happening. DICE is incredibly inconsistent. There has been no set design language for Battlefield, ever. Bad Company 2 is nothing like 3. 3 is nothing like 4 in terms of gunplay and navigation, and map design even. Battlefield Hardline isn't even made by DICE, but again, it's completely different than Battlefield 4. Not in terms of really map design, but then it also kind of is, and it's a mess. It was a weird novelty title. And then Battlefield 1 and 5 are not... Like, Battlefield 1 and 5 have completely different styles of gunplay and map design and gameplay philosophy and gimmicks. There's no Battlefield feel. Like, yeah, spawning on your teammates, destroying houses, driving tanks, that's Battlefield-y. But the act of running up to an enemy, stopping, aiming down sight, and shooting has been different in every game. And Battlefront, I wish, was reskinned Battlefield, but Battlefront was more like reskinned old Battlefront. They had so much outdated, skill gapless gameplay. Honestly, Battlefront, if it was more like Battlefield, I would have loved it, but unfortunately it was way more arcadey, and the gunplay didn't give me any room to actually improve as a player. Yeah, there's no Battlefield design, so there's no reason to assume that Battlefield 2042 will be your favorite Battlefield, because, well, if you like 5 and not 4, doesn't matter either way, because 2042 is probably not going to play like 5 or 4. You know what I mean? I think Battlefront was fun. I had fun with Battlefront, but it was so shallow that I had fun with it for a bit, but I never wanted to get good at it, so I never really improved at it, and I never really played much else of it. It was too casual. Battlefront 2 was better when they fixed their whole star card system, but it was still like, it wasn't something I wanted to sit and get good at. It was something I enjoyed playing the co-op of more, actually, than the actual multiplayer. Let's see if we can do a delivery. I'm pretty sure we could. Howdy, Crips. Favorite guns in Red Dead? Navy revolvers, Lancasters, rolling block rifles, and pump action shotguns. So basically a bunch of meta crap other than the Carsano.
We're well stocked for the time.
Yeah, I don't need to do that. Oh, production hall. Oh, I need to do a resupply mission. Okay, we'll do that.
Troubling news, I'm afraid.
Heroes versus Villains was fun, but the netcode was so janky, hit detection was so janky, it often didn't feel like any of it was actually in your control, and it felt very random. I played a lot of hours into it, and it always just felt more and more random, and I have so many clips of dying 100 feet away from somebody's lightsaber because the hit detection was so poorly designed. Again, not bad games by any means, just, could be better. Oh, I don't have time to help people become the overlord of Subway. I'm very busy. I have to bitch about Call of Duty today, tomorrow, and the next day. This game really needs to add an ability card where if you use a single handgun with no offhand holster, then you get like accuracy, range, and damage buffs on that single handgun. That'd be nice. Battlefield 1, Juan. Oh, I hope this player doesn't think I'm following him. I'm really not. Oh, I hope this guy doesn't think I'm following him. I'm not following you. I'm gonna let this player go off ahead because I don't want him to think that I'm trying to fuck with him. You played Insurgency? Yeah, I actually like Insurgency. Not enough to keep playing it because my friends don't want to play it. And it's sort of annoying. It's annoying to play that game solo, and I don't actually like its non-respawn game mode. It's traditional Insurgency game mode I thought was kind of lame. I'm gonna pull out a lantern so this guy knows that I'm no threat. I'm just trying to get past you, man. You're just inconveniently in my way. I'm just gonna blow past you. I'm on a fucking racehorse. I'm just gonna blow past you. I'm in defensive mode. You can't target me. Just be fucking cool, man. I'm not trying to steal your shit. I really am not. I'm just trying to get on by. Thanks, man. Thanks for being cool. That guy's cool. He actually moved out of the way for me. He saw I was trying to get up behind him. That's nice. Search the area for supplies. Oop. Found the supplies. Yeah, Call of Duty is very simple, and that's sort of what I like about it. It's not a game that I feel like I have to be on top of the ball with. With Battlefield, I feel like Battlefield is actually very simple, it's just overwhelming. It's not complicated, it's just there's so much going on, it's kind of hard to focus on one thing, and it's also really hard to play solo and navigate the whole map and control objectives without friends. It's more complicated in the sense there's more vehicles and there's usually more weapons and larger maps, but it's not mechanically complicated enough for me to really think that way. But with Halo, I love Halo. It's just so sweaty and so competitive that, like, with Call of Duty, I can just sort of spawn with a sniper rifle and sit back and snipe people, which is annoying in some ways, because like with Halo, you have to actually go out and get the sniper rifle. If you want to be an overpowered, campy little prick, you have to go work for it, which is cooler in a lot of ways on paper, but I don't always want that style of gameplay. Do I think Halo Infinite will be forgettable because it's free to play? It definitely has that possibility. I've thought about that a lot. I don't think any of the Halo magic that we really would expect from Halo is on display. Other than the fact that it's a Halo game, none of the things that make us get excited about Halo seem to be there at launch. Like, no Forge, no co-op online. It really feels like I'm I'm downloading a live service Game Pass game more so than waiting for the next big Halo release. And that is a crappy feeling. Hey, Trudeau, dude, you're leaving with my stuff, buddy. Hey, horsey. Hey, I will sell you. Oh my god. Oh, okay, yeah, walk to your little pen. Hit yourself. Yep, there you go. My horse self-hitches, which is awesome. Yeah, I'm a little bit worried about the Battlefield being ass on last gen. The fact that it's not cross-play with the other platforms and it's just gonna have less players, it gives me Battlefield 3 on Xbox 360 vibes. The campaign is full price, yeah it is, without any forge or firefight either. I don't want to hate Halo, but I don't want to be sworn with all the Warzone campers. I like traditional Halo. Yeah, but like Warzone is, you can't compare it like at all. Like Battle Royale with a fast TTK is definitely going to be more campy than Halo. Halo doesn't really let you do that. Warzone campers are going to play like shit. They're going to be fucking miserable. Gotta wait. I'm very excited about Far Cry 6. Yeah. What do you think our Red Dead Redemption 3 should be about? I'd like to see it be about Jack Marston dodging the draft for World War I and living a sort of outdated outlaw life on the run from the draft. I think that'd be fun. Do I play on PC or console? I'm kind of just a console player now. I have a decent PC with a GTX 1070 and a i7 8700K processor. A lot of RAM and all that, but like my computer is kind of last gen. I want to upgrade it later next year, but I won't be able to upgrade it this year, so I've just had to switch back to my Xbox Series X. Is Litchfield worth it? I don't mind. So here's the thing with the Litchfield. Let me show you. So the Litchfield repeater isn't a bad gun by any means. It's just that when you fire... Oh crap, I was gonna grab the Lancaster as well. It was already on my back too. Okay, apparently I'm not at my horse yet. Okay. Lancaster. So when you fire the Lancaster, the bloom is manageable. When you fire the Litchfield, you do a little bit more damage, but holy fuck, this bloom goes crazy. Like, the Litchfield is great if you want to crouch on a hill, zero in on a target, and take it out. I'll see if I can kill this bunny down there. Oh, fuck. No, it's out of my range now for sure. If you're using Paint It Black, like, it won't really matter because you'll have zero bloom and you can just beam things with the Lancaster. Or, sorry, the Litchfield. But Litchfield's better. Ah, fuck, I'm getting them mixed up. The Lancaster shoots faster and is more accurate, so it's better for DPS. If you wanted to zero a tree like this one, you could hit the tree almost every time. Whereas as soon as you switch to the Litchfield here, you're gonna start missing that tree a fair amount. I bet I could get 3 misses in a row. Yeah, that was 3 misses in a row. Yes, I have seen the leaked Battlefield gameplay. Carbine repeater, yeah, with Painted Black, but I would honestly rather use the Evans than the Carbine. Because at least with like the Evans, my favorite thing about the Evans, right, is that you can, I'll use I won't burn through my normal ammo, or my better ammo. The reload might suck, but that's alright. The Evans loses style points? No, it makes me think of Red Dead 1. Anyway. I like being able to do this. You know, when the game just sends like like 6 dudes at you, it is really satisfying to strafe them with this, but you can kind of get the same thing with Lancaster. But you can do this 26 times. Anything notable about the gameplay? That's the problem. Not really, in my opinion. It just kind of looks like Battlefield, but with like Call of Duty-esque specialist weapons and abilities, and weapons that can be used on any class, which absolutely hurts the franchise as far as I'm concerned. There's no reason to just not run the most overpowered guns of each category because, well, being a sniper doesn't matter, being a supportman doesn't matter, being an assault man doesn't matter, or a medic, I should say. Can't aim for shit in hip fire? You're not supposed to aim. You're not aiming when you hip fire. You're hip firing. You hip fire when, let's say between these 2 trees, there's a doorway and enemies are coming out of it. All you need is this. And then your aim is going to come from your left stick. So when you hip fire in this game against opponents, you worry more about your left stick than your right stick. This is right stick, unwieldy, hard to do, garbage. Left stick allows you to walk your sight carefully over targets. So when you're hip firing, you use your left stick and your right stick very subtly to make sure that your red dot, or your white dot here in the middle of the screen, stays right over your target. When's the new video coming out? Tomorrow morning. I finished it. It's not bad. I didn't expect it to be... the only thing I will say, the editing sort of falls apart at the end. I didn't have any like things to splice in. So the end of the video, the last like 3 minutes, is basically just a boring gameplay commentary. But everything else in the middle, I make fun of myself. I make fun of other people. I cut to funny things. I use a good amount of footage. It's fun. I'm actually happy. Springfield used to be good. I still like it. I still like it for... if I'm just going off to go hunt animals. I like using the Springfield. It's just such a satisfying gun to use. It's a very cool looking gun. And with explosive rounds, it's a lot of damage. Where are you from? I am from the United States. I live in Idaho, and it is 9:30 p.m. for me. How long is it? It is an 18-minute long video. And no, you can't get a sneak peek. You just have to tune in tomorrow. But yeah, it almost got to 20 minutes. I cut some stuff out because I thought it was going on too long and I was rambling too much. It didn't have a script. So it's the longest non-scripted video I've done in a very long time. Any amount of script that I ever had for it, I ended up scrapping. Glorified potato farm? It's great. My potatoes taste better than everyone else's, and that's something worth bragging about. Something worth getting out of bed for in the morning. Yeah, the bolt action's good. I like the bolt action. Not a bad gun. Is there Herder Jake Bad shoehorned in there somewhere? No, unfortunately. I didn't have time to make fun of Jake in the video. It'd be nice, but the video is mostly picking on the hypercritical people of the Call of Duty community. The hard part about it, when it comes to me making a video like the one that you guys are gonna see, is it's very frustrating when I know what I'm describing in the video, and I don't think that I'm that far off, and I feel like I'm making good points. But it's sort of disheartening when I just know that people are going to watch the video and then just be wrong about my opinion, and those comments are going to suck to read. I absolutely hate coming up with video ideas and discussing things just to have somebody come in and just be wrong about it in the comment section. Like, the people are going to take the video to think that I'm hating on criticism on Call of Duty. I don't like that you criticize Call of Duty, is what people are going to hear. What I'm saying is, be smarter with your complaints, please. Stop bitching for the sake of it. I've not done the new bridge launch. No, not yet. And no, I have not played Splitgate yet. Might sometime. Favorite type of hat? I don't really have one. Honestly, I would love to get one like the one my character wears here. I really like this hat. I don't know the name of it. I don't know what this hat in real life would be called, but this is the hat I like. But don't worry about, if you're trying to get me a hat, don't. I'll take money and buy myself a hat. I don't want anybody doing that for me. Yeah, the Call of Duty community's never really been that rational, and it's also really never been a community. It's just really the most impulsive people that we hear the most about. The most resentful, impulsive, entitled people, I should say. And throughout the video that you guys are going to see tomorrow, I fully realize the irony of me complaining about complaints. Like, I complain a lot about Call of Duty and other video games. I criticize them pretty damn heavily. Even this game, I have a lot of complaints that, you know, maybe I don't share as much as I should. But there's a certain point where you're just kind of screaming. And when it's just bellowing and screaming and you're tipping your hand and letting everybody know how petty you are, it just seems pointless to me. Looks like a boonie hat? It's definitely not a boonie hat. Opinions on Cold War? Not really. It's probably the most boring game. It's probably the most boring game I've played. Like, in terms of the Call of Duty franchise, Black Ops Cold War and COD World War II will go down as the most why, how, please stop games on the market. You worried you may get ratioed hard tomorrow? I shouldn't. And I know what I'm saying in the video is true. Simultaneously true and ironic to a degree. I know that I'm not bullshitting, so... You know, people can have whatever opinions they want about it. It's going to annoy me more than anything. Like, I know my actual views aren't going to be wrong. I really don't think they are. It's just that I know I'm going to be annoyed when people misconstrue it. Like, if you want to disagree with me, fine, but it feels like everyone that disagrees with me and they actually write a comment, you know, when someone just says, you're shit, you're dumb, you're stupid, that's nothing. But when they say, hey, you just made this claim, and it's not a claim I've ever made, it's like you misunderstood what I just said. Now, I've gotten criticisms towards my videos where I think it made me stop and think about what my opinion was and change my point of view a little bit. But a lot of them don't do that. A lot of them are just... like, you watched half the video and threw a fit. Or you took everything I said as life and death. Like, nobody looks at the video in the context of being my personal opinion. Yeah, this is the Tiltim hat, yeah. Marble Duck intensifies. Yeah, Marble Duck couldn't disagree with me without misconstruing me to his audience. Like, that is still a stain on his channel as far as I'm concerned. He literally edited his video to specifically paint me in a bad light and removed context from what I said. And then went on some egotistical rant about how fucking casual gamers don't know what they want. When all I was talking about is, hey, Battlefield's more fun when it's a toy box, and when you limit the toy box, it's not as fun. That's what the video was essentially about, and so he was like, so you casuals think you want extra attachments and extra pieces of equipment and more modern day settings. but you don't even know that what you really want is a more strict meta skill-based game. And I'm like, wow, how fucking arrogant do you have to be? And you can categorizing is a problem, but then misconstruing the person is even worse. Like, you can categorize me as a complainer. You wouldn't be wrong, but you wouldn't also be arguing against my actual arguments, my actual points. And, you know, video game criticism's hard, guys, because it's subjective and it doesn't matter. They're fucking electronic toys. If you hate Red Dead, oh my god, it's... In my head, you hating Red Dead is like you hating my Master Chief action figure here. It's like... I'm gonna tell you, I'm more emotionally invested in Red Dead because I've actually put time and money and had really fun experiences with my actual friends with this, more so than a toy, but this is still just a product. This is still just a toy. This is just like software I'm controlling with a glorified TV remote. Like, I'm not trying to downplay video games. I'm honestly a huge gamer. I absolutely adore video games. It's just that people hear your opinion and they're like, fuck you. And they're angry and they're resentful and bitter. And I feel like those are the people, I think they derive all their value from video games, or at least most of their value in life from video games. Like, okay, so here's the thing. This is an interesting topic to me. I think people that watch gaming videos are more likely to be heavily into gaming or more heavily into gaming, and that's totally fine. Be heavily into gaming. Gaming's awesome. But then there's like this issue where, that I notice at least, where people are... They're so into gaming that they can't disconnect gaming from life. And the biggest part of their life is gaming, and that's why they're so particular about their opinions, right? And that's why they're so defensive, and they're so quick to say, oh, well, you don't like the game because you're bad, or you don't like the game because you were born on a Thursday, or whatever. Because I think they honestly, like, they might just genuinely be too into video games. They derive their daily value from video games and being good at video games and progressing and leveling up in video games. Because then there's the other side of it that I see sometimes. There's some conflict going on over here. There's the other side that I see. Like, there's this other side of it that I see where people are like, why are you even talking about it? So they derive no value from video games. They just see video games as a dumb waste of time that they occasionally partake in. And so when they stumble upon a... I knew that was the bounty target, by the way. I just... With these dynamic world bounties, they don't pay a lot anyway. Anyway. Like, you get people like, why are you even talking about this? Why are you... Hey, I have all the lost jewelry rings. I should go, Oh, okay, that's how we're gonna wrap up the stream. We're gonna go deliver that to Madame Nazar. But either way, I feel like people, they get too wrapped up. They get too wrapped up in gaming. And when you attempt to discuss it practically, they're like, no, this is literally my life. This is my life's work. This is where all of my value comes from. I don't provide for a family. I don't provide for myself. I'm not working on any personal skills. I'm not good at marksmanship or sports or music. This is all I have, and you dare criticize it. I think the only time, like, video game addiction's hard to quantify, but what isn't hard to quantify is somebody who gets all of their value in life from the act of playing video games. They don't have anything else going on. You can tell people like that when you talk to them. They don't know what's going on in the world. They don't know what's going on in their own town. They don't even know what's going on with their family. They're ambivalent to life, and they're just sort of sucked into these online games and stuff, and they don't know how to discuss it. And that's why I love YouTubers like Scott the Woz. He talks about video games like they're electronic toys. Whether he means to or not, that's what he's doing. He makes fun of the fact that he likes them. He calls himself a virgin for complaining about them. He sees it as a very nerdy hobby that he takes seriously, but is still, you know, a collection of plastic and software. And I think if you don't have that mentality, you end up taking shit a little too seriously. The point of my channel is to discuss and communicate about the games that I'm interested in. Whether that's Call of Duty, having a design flaw, or me talking about how Red Dead's worth your time. It depends on what mood I'm in. But if you're somebody who literally lives their life to be good at video games, to level up in video games, to earn fake video game currency, and to have a high video game KD, then yeah, my opinions are gonna kind of clash with yours a lot harder than they would normally, because not only do you have a differing opinion, you've also seeped yourself so deep in video games that you don't have any, what would you say, extra. You have no, there's nothing else going on with you. I'm not criticizing the game at that point, I'm practically criticizing your life. Like, why do you think Dark Souls players just tell people to get good when they don't like their game? They're genuinely what that says is that they're genuinely deriving their value from being good at the game. And that criticisms of the game aren't valid. Because if you can criticize something, so imagine this. Imagine you derive all of your value from video games, and then somebody criticizes it. Then they're literally criticizing your life. You're too deep. You're too deep in that well. So when it's criticized, it's earth-shattering instead of, it's a different opinion, who cares? And that's what sucks. Because if you don't have anything else going on in your life, and then you beat Dark Souls, all the Dark Souls games by yourself, and you're really good at them, and you learned everything about them, and then somebody says Dark Souls kind of sucks, it's like, no, you're just bad at it. It's like, no, don't you dare. Don't you goddamn dare imply to any degree that the thing that I derive my self-confidence from is flawed. Yeah, well, they're all flawed, and they're all imperfect, and everyone's got different opinions about them. They're all scummy, they all want your money, and worse than wanting your money, I feel like that's what video games now are becoming more about, is being a center of value for people instead of a pastime. It's literally all of their time. Fucking rip. Holy shit, that would have been a pretty nice jump to make, except for that branch. Whoopsie. Abso-fucking-lutely whoopsie. I think the best thing to do, if you want to like discuss video games online, is make sure you have an extra layer to your life, whether it's, you know, providing for your family or another skill. You want to become a good soccer player or somebody who can do crochet or something like that. I feel like then you can criticize video games and take video game criticism more maturely because, again, your value system isn't entangled in software. You have to have a balanced life, and I have trouble with that. Like, my life is primarily video games and making videos about video games. So that's why I watch YouTube videos about things that aren't video game related. They're life related. I listen to philosophy and psychology lectures. I have other hobbies like marksmanship. I like collecting Legos and trading cards. I love talking about movies with my girlfriend and my friends. I do other things, and then I have a family that I contribute to. I pay money to every month to make sure that everyone in my house is comfortable so we can continue living our lives. But you get some person that's just like, you know, they're 15, they have nothing else going on, they play Call of Duty, they go to school and play Call of Duty, they don't take any real electives, they're not really trying to work on any skills. And you know, it's funny, like the friends that I've had that play sports have always been more rational about video games. And I think the reason is that they can be more rational because it's not as emotional for them. Now, in my opinion, because video games are a complex art form, they're so fun to criticize because they're a complex art form. Like, movies are complex art forms, but they're passive. What I'm doing right now isn't passive. And that's special. There's something special about an interactive piece of media that you pour hundreds of hours into. That's special. And we wouldn't do that if there was no meaning involved. I mean, video games have like a good degree of meaning to them, to a high degree. Like you might say, well, no, you just said that you can't derive your meaning from them. You can't derive all your meaning from them, but if you derive zero meaning from them, you're the shitty teammate. You're the ambivalent friend that's not very good at the video game. You can't help the group. You're kind of a dead weight. I've used video games to build bonds and friendships with people that have lasted almost a decade. And we help each other out when we play games together, and we help each other complete challenges, and we can rely on each other, sometimes more than others, and we bond over this stuff. And that's where I think the meaning lies, is where you can socialize with it. And then single player games that, you know, that don't have that interactability, they might not have that social meaning, because social meaning is the most important meaning in your life. You will not have a more important meaning than finding true love, or raising a family, or having a close bond with your family. Like, if you think there's a higher value out there than having a nice paid for or being paid for home with all your family around getting along and eating dinner, and you have like a grandkid playing with toys here, and your son's raising them well and all that. That's like pinnacle life stuff. So social life goals are the main life goals, guys. Finding someone to care about and that cares about you, finding friends and being close with your family, making amends with your brothers and sisters. That's honestly the most value you're gonna get. If you think the best thing you can be in life is a streamer or some billionaire tycoon with his feet up on a desk and a cigar, you're absolutely fucking fucked. You're gonna be miserable and you'll have yourself to blame. Even the most narcissistic billionaires that have ever existed have said the most value you can derive and the most happiness you can get is from knowing you have people that are in your corner that trust you and you trust them. It's a really good thing when your sister has a child and then trusts the safety of their child with you. When your family trusts you with a family pet or a niece, like a 2-year-old baby, that's I'm sorry, if you're looking for something better, there isn't. There's nothing better. You can have $1 billion and all the bitches in the world and a prominent streaming career and whatever. No, you have to have friends. Like you're not gonna have meaning without friends and socialization. So video games tie into that. There's meaning there because you want to find that balance of, yes, this is software, it's an electronic toy, I should probably get on with my life, but it's also something that you can be relied upon in, and you can rely on other people with. And I think that's special. Now, single player games work to deliver personal challenges, puzzles, combat puzzles. I mean, hell, Devil May Cry's combat, essentially a puzzle. Doom Eternal's combat, essentially a puzzle. You know, it's problem solving and skill. There's skill building there within the game, and then there's, you know, it's not going to probably make you better at life. It can help you find out where you are. That's a whole other topic, but it's not going to maybe make you a better person. It's just maybe helps you find out where you are as a person, and that's a whole other topic. But, you know, they can give you a good story, and stories are important. I mean, why do you think people line up for movies, guys? Like, you think people line up for movies because CGI? No, it's because we're literally watching things we already know. It's, oh, the good guys always win, the bad guys always lose, and it's all boring. Those are archetypes. We line up around street corners for movies that basically flash images of the human soul onto the screen, and when things get too soulless and too corporate, their social relevancy dies. It's funny, like, you think of like certain movies that have like lasted all of time, like in very integral archetypal stories, classics you would call them, just good classic, well-renowned movies, like Good and the Bad and the Ugly, or What's Eating Gilbert Grape, Star Wars: A New Hope, or Empire Strikes Back, both archetypal stories. The Harry Potter movies, Lord of the Rings. Those are archetypal stories that are very important and interesting. And then you have movies like 2012, or I don't know, the Resident Evil films, or Riddick. Not bad, and they're entertaining, and there's nothing wrong with being entertained from time to time, but that's mostly what they are. But some movies and TV shows and video games, they're a window into your goddamn soul. Like, they're a window into what life is. It's not they're not telling you something. They're not telling you new information. They're telling you something you've known since you were born. I mean, it's funny, like babies. I have a new niece, and she just turned 1 year old recently. And it's the cutest thing. So babies, when they're happy, they do this. And when they're sad, they hide their face and they curl up in a ball. And that's the same thing you see with people in the real world. When they're confident, they walk with a stride with their shoulders back and their chest out, and they just scream serotonin. And then when you see somebody who's depressed and hasn't showered and is miserable and is just a little cave-dwelling incel, their shoulders are forward, they're overweight, they're covered in acne, and they're just, you know, limping around the Walmart, and you don't want to make eye contact with them. They're shady looking. They're not somebody you'd leave your kid with. And that's sad. So babies know that. It's funny, that's built into your soul. They put their hands up when they're excited. And when they're confused, they put their arms out, because it's like, where do I go? Do I curl up, or am I going up? They know up is good. Babies are born knowing up is good. It's crazy. And so when you see Spider-Man beat Green Goblin, when you watch, Sam Raimi's first Spider-Man movie, when you watch that play out, that sort of bittersweet victory at the end of that movie, it's the kid in you, it's the baby in you, it's the thing that's deep down in your soul going, that's right. The tyrannical, overbearing father always gets killed by his own devices. He always gets killed by his own destruction. You know that. We just know that happens. It's played out throughout history. It's played out throughout life. It's played out in your soul. It's played out in your mind. You already know it, and you want to see it. You want to remind yourself. Because it's not just a story. It's a depiction of life. So these video games are essentially the same thing. They're a feeling of exploration, and that's what we do as people. People are exploratory creatures, whether we're exploring for information or exploring for locations. And that's sort of the interesting thing about video games. So when you go to a library for a book on something, or you Google search something because you want to learn about it, you're hunting. You're hunting. You want that information is tangible. It can benefit your life, so you want it. So it's funny, when we're playing video games, we're not navigating a physical area, but the game is relaying to us information. It's almost playing off of, like, this is like me exploring the world of, Red Dead Redemption 2 on horseback like this while talking. It's scratching that deep primal itch, right? Like, it scratches that deep primal itch of just, I'm sort of venturing out, but for information. Not really anything tangible. I'm not actually going to go pick herbs or get meat, or I'm not really doing any of this stuff, but I am doing it. It's like I'm currently hunting for info. I'm hunting for important stimuli. Oh, this could go badly. Good horsey. Good horsey. Don't freak out. The fact that that doesn't scare away wolves, I call bullshit on. They're a mental game. They play on primitive things. They're not new. Like, video games are new in the sense that, like, they've not been around forever, but what they're playing on and why you play them is not new. It's the same reason you played in your backyard. It's the same reason you pretended to be a cowboy in your backyard, or a space soldier with your friends or whatever. You played. It's the same reason you bought and played with action figures and dolls and read comic books. It's all the same stuff. It's showing you things that you kind of have known for thousands of years deep down in your soul. It's cool. It's very cool. But back to what I was saying, like a year ago it seems like now, but what I was saying was you can derive too much meaning from gaming. You can get to the point where your success as a human being is your success in Red Dead, is your success in Call of Duty, is your success in Halo, and that will leave you a very shallow, unfun to talk to, boring person who's ambivalent to the world because the world doesn't constantly send them dopaminergic dopaminergic reactions. Because this thing is, video games are set to trigger happy dopamine responses. Like when I'm about to grab this collectible, my brain's gonna go, yay, collectible! And it's gonna be exciting. Oh my god. Oh, that's right, I need to go to Madame Nazar. That reminds me. Again, dopamine. If your value structure is based on getting yourself dopamine through software, giving yourself a dopamine rush through software, then fuck, man, like you're screwed. If that's all it is, I mean, it's a nice element. I think it could be a nice element of your life, but if that's all you are, is just, I need to beat the boss fight so I feel good in the moment. I need to grab the collectibles and earn money. I need to shoot the bad guys because I'm gonna feel good when I'm doing it. It's like, crap, wow, your value structure is based on essentially pleasuring yourself. That's, yeah, it's cool these video games tap into our soul, our hunter-gatherer elements, like the hunter-gatherer elements in our soul. It's cool that they tap into that. Like that's very neat. But you don't just get to indulge yourself and then derive your value from it and then be taken serious by any sort of high-functioning adult. Just saying. You're gonna have to get out of that, and the sooner you can get out of that, the better. Because you can create a bad fucking habit. Dopamine creates habits. So this is why people do cocaine, this is why people do drugs. It's because dopamine, the dopamine response they get from those things creates horrible, horrible fucking habits. And so the best thing they can do with their day is smoke weed. The best thing they can do with their day is cocaine. The best thing they can do with their day is jerk off. The best thing they can do with their day is heroin or alcohol. It's because basically their value structure and what they want to do with their day revolves around being in a state of pleasure. Unfortunately, the meaning of life is not happiness, it's actually meaning itself. So, good luck. If the meaning of your life is derived around having fun, then that's gonna be great. What happens if, like, I'll start small. It's gonna be really dramatic and say what happens if your family dies, but okay. What happens when something happens in your house? A sink breaks. You call a plumber, right? It's true. And no one's gonna mind if you call a plumber. But let's say you're able to fix it yourself. Like, you're not just somebody who plays video games, eats junk food, and masturbates. So you actually know how to fix a sink. The people in your family, the people in your life, because this is, again, that social meaning, they'll see you as somebody who can fix the sink. They'll see you as somebody who can repair something, who can make things better, who can make life more convenient. You think, oh, that's just a sink. Live without a sink for a second, and let me know how you like that. Go 2 days without using a sink. Stinky motherfucker. Some of you probably do anyway. But anyway, no, it's just, it's sad. You know, it's like people don't realize that, like, if you have a wheelhouse of things that, and you know, hey, people can rely on me. I'm a person that can be relied on. It's like, yeah, that's gonna give you dopamine that you can't get anywhere else. People can rely on you. Awesome. People rely on you too much, overwhelming. Oh, but then you can rely on somebody else. There's the reward system. Focus on that. If you want advice from a 23-year-old that spent most of his time at home, there's my advice for you. It's ironic that I'm giving any advice at all, but pursue that. Pursue being reliable, but not a doormat. Don't be a doormat for people. Don't be somebody who's constantly bending over for everyone, but, you know, be helpful. Because it's like, oh, you know why do you know why video game nerds have a bad, like, image in society? Is because there are too many moms out there that have watched their kids just get fat in front of video games and they can't do anything. They can't mow a lawn, they can't fix a sink, they can't take out the garbage, they don't wash themselves, they don't clean their room. They don't act like a functioning member of society at all, even on oh, I did not want to sell that card. Even in rudimentary ways, they can't benefit society at all, or even their household. Like, there's a reason there's a stigma against video games, guys. Like, and it's because a lot of us spent too much time of our teen years trying to level up in Call of Duty, but never picked up a vacuum and did a chore without being asked to. And the thing is, like, you might think, well, I don't have anything I can really strive for, but that's not how striving works. Strive for the ability to have it in the first place, and you will be much the fuck better off. Strive for a little bit of extra responsibility. Do something that will make people in your house or in your life like you more. And, okay, I'll bring that around to video games. Don't be the guy that your friends have to carry in every single multiplayer match. Practice your goddamn aim. Watch a tips and tricks video from some YouTubers. Like, spend an afternoon learning the game. If you're gonna play Call of Duty or Halo with your friends over and over again, fucking learn the game to some degree so you're not dead weight. Because then when your friends are thinking, hey, we're gonna play Call of Duty, you don't want them to think, oh, we have to carry Jimmy No Thumbs, because Jimmy No Thumbs refuses to get good at the game. And that is something you can just refuse to do. You can just not learn it. You can make zero strives to get good at something, and then whenever time they play with you, they don't really like playing with you. But then it's little things, guys. If you think, oh, I guess there's no way for me to have any meaning, it's like, okay, so one of the things I do, small thing, without being asked, I fill the dog food container for our dog that we're watching right now at night, so that my mom, when she gets up, she doesn't have to go into the garage and fill, 'cause she gets up before anyone else does. So my mom doesn't have to go grab a food cup, fill it with dog food, like bend over and fill it with dog food and do that. It's ready. I have a pitcher of water and the dog food container filled for her. So when she wakes up, all she has to do is grab it and pour it. She thanked me for that. It's such a simple thing. Like, it's already filled for her. My mom's older than I am. I don't want her to have to go in the garage and bend over the awkward container of dog food. I can do that much easier than she can. It's little things. My girlfriend, we have a junk drawer in our kitchen with a lot of hot sauce packets and soy sauce packets and stuff. My girlfriend organized it one day. So it was easy, like all the different flavors and all the different restaurants of all the different hot sauce packets and plastic forks that we kind of keep from fast food places were perfectly organized. It looked beautiful. And she was like, oh yeah, it's no big deal. I'm like, I thought, like, yeah, it's not a big deal. And then months later, I thought about it. That increased everybody's positive emotion when they opened that drawer. They were like, oh my God, this is gonna be so much easier to get the hot sauces now, right? Like, this is gonna be so much easier. It's little things like that. That might not be, your entire sense of meaning shouldn't be small menial tasks, but if you're doing things with the motivation of benefiting your family in small yet important ways, your family is going to look up to you. Your friends are going to look up to you. People are going to trust you with their children and their pets. And that's a good feeling. Like, the last thing you'd want is for somebody to be like, no, I don't trust you with my kid, so I'm not leaving my kid unattended near you. Like, that's the last thing you'd want. There's a study where rats have their brain stimulated or food. They starve because they chose to be stimulated every time. You starve your brain. Yes, that is yep, I actually know about that one. I think that was that was Pingsept. Ow. I think that was one of Pingsept's rat experiences. Yeah, people would much rather be mentally stimulated, like through like drugs, alcohol, video games, porn, sex, thrills even. People just go out and just go thrill seeking. And thrill seeking could be going out to a bar and getting into fights. Or, you know, there are women, unfortunately, they just go out and they just want to go have like random sex encounters because that's kind of dangerous for them. It makes them vulnerable. It's kind of living on the edge a little bit. It actually is, you know, STDs and creepy dudes and stuff. But it's a thrill. It's adrenaline. And it's like, damn, that sucks. because you'll choose that over a meaningful, important life. Who's next? Head glitching wolf. Yeah, when nobody notices, it does kind of suck, and so that's the other thing too. If you do things for people and they don't notice, then when they do something for you, acknowledge it. Let them know what that feels like. It'll create the system. I used to joke around with my family. I used to do like, I'd be like, well, I did this thing, but nobody noticed. And they're like, oh, you did the thing. Oh, thanks. And I'm like, oh, shucks. And I make a joke out of it. But you know, that's the relationship I have with my mom, and I did with my dad as well, where I could just like walk up to them and be like, I guess you hate me. And they'll be like, what? I'm like, you hate me. I'm your least favorite child. And they'll be like, what? And I'll be like, I vacuumed and you didn't say thank you. And they're like, oh, shit. Sorry, yeah. I'm like, gosh, it sucks being hated. Like, just be lighthearted. Don't for the love of God. Don't for the love of God do chores and maintain your household for compliments. That's why it has to be a joke if you bring it up. And it has to be very obviously a joke. Okay? Don't be the person that's like, oh, I'm gonna go unload the dishwasher and then lord over everybody's heads that I did the dishwasher. Don't do that. That's, you know. Don't do that. Be funny about it. Be lighthearted. Don't be a serious fucking piece of shit all the time. That sucks. It's so hard it's so exhausting for parents to deal with like teenagers because, you know, teenagers are so edgy and they're so angsty and they're so bitter. It's like, God, it's draining to be around. If you're a lighthearted person who's just able to do things they don't want to do with a smile, or at least begrudgingly, like my mom will still, like, you know, one of the reasons I live here at home and I'm happy to is that my mom needs help with stuff. My mom's short and getting older, so I'm able to do more yard work stuff or lift things. I mean, she's honestly a tank when it comes to doing stuff, more so than I am, but I'm taller, I can reach things. Or I have bigger arms and I'm a little stronger with my shoulders, so I can like lift things up the stairs or whatever. Anyway, when I'm asked, can you bring this thing upstairs for me, or can you go haul these things downstairs, or can you help me lift this? If I really don't want to do it, I don't pretend to want to do it, because I don't. But I just be like, fine, I guess I'll risk breaking my back for you. And just be kind of sarcastic and be funny about it. Smile at them. Smile while you complain. It's the funniest thing. Like, teenagers don't know how to do that. Like, I've never met a teenager that knows how to do that. It's like, yeah, nobody wants to do what you're doing right now. Nobody likes yard work. I mean, they might enjoy the results of yard work, but nobody likes digging out weeds and hoeing and mowing and growing. Nobody likes doing that in the hot sun or whatever, so you're not alone. Just joke about it. Like, it's funny that I can genuinely complain about something and make my family laugh about it. I can be like, they'll be like, are you okay over there? I'll be like, oh yeah, it's fun lifting heavy fucking things in the sun all day. I fucking love it. Like, it's just be sarcastic about it. And still be helpful. You don't have to be, parents that require their kids though to be like dutiful little soldiers are really stupid parents. I'm sorry. Like, no, your kid doesn't want to come home from school or come home from something, you know, or be done with homework just to get dragged into like some household chore that's gonna take them 2 hours. Like, no, they don't want to take out the garbage with a smile when when they're tired at the end of the day, because kids get tired at the end of the day just like adults do. But so when they do it, maybe encourage a little bit of shenanigans. What's going on here? I don't know what these people are doing. Oh, you know what? I should probably reload. It's really funny, yeah, like when you're a teenager, it's just like, I don't want to do this, and like that's all you can think while you're doing something you don't want to do. And at least that's how I was. I was like, wow, this is the worst day of my life because I have to do this thing I don't want to do. And then you get older and you're like, oh, it's actually not that bad to do annoying chores and shit.
Beat me to it. Goddamn animals, the lotto. Still,
Please teach me how to do that.
ammunition, so thanks.
Just swallow your pride, man. Part of the reason when you're young and you get bossed around like that and it pisses you off is it fucks up your pride. Because you're creating, so when you're a teenager, you're creating your self-image. And so when you're told to do a lot of chores and you're pushed around to clean the house and keep your room clean and wash your clothes and mow the lawn and walk the dog, you're building your own person, you're building yourself into a person, but the person you're building yourself into feels like a slave, and so it kind of fucks up your pride a little bit. Because when you start to get older, you develop pride, and it's good. You should have pride. Value yourself, because if you don't, people will walk the fuck all over you. You should take yourself seriously as a human being. Don't let people shit on you. But at the same time, you have to balance that with responsibility and swallowing that pride. It's like, I'm building myself as a person, but all I am as a person is somebody who lifts things, carries things, and cuts grass. That's a hard, it's hard. Like that's not easy, and you're being a baby. That is hard to do because you're forming yourself as a person, and then the things you're doing as a person are not fun. It's not the things you want to do. Oh fuck. Actually, not doing too bad.
Next bullet's in your skull.
Yeah, it runs very smooth. It's still 30 FPS, but it doesn't drop frames. But yeah, that's it's hard. You know, you don't want to. You're fighting your pride when you're a teenager and you're being told to take out the trash because you're like, I'm trying to become a human being here, like a real human being, adult person, and you're telling me to be the human being that takes out garbage and waters plants. It's like, yep. And then because here's the thing, when you get older, no one's gonna be around to tell you to do that. This is like the hardest pill you can swallow as a teenager. Sorry, and some people when they're teenagers, they lose their families, and so this is gonna seem condescending to them. So I'm sorry, but for those of you that have trouble with your families like this, they'll be dead one day, okay? They're gonna be dead. And they're not going to tell you to take out the trash, and they're not going to tell you to wash the dishes, and they're not going to tell you to vacuum your floor. You're going to have to parent yourself. You're going to have to be your own parent. And if you... If you don't value hard menial labor, your house will be a mess. Women won't want you, men won't want you. You're going to be somebody who can't shower, can't clean a room, can't wash a towel. You have to be told to do everything because you take zero initiative. And learn to love hating it. Learn to love hating it. It's annoying, but you know what's really annoying? Is waking up, looking in your room and going, wow, I live in a trash heap. And I make zero efforts to get out of the trash heap. I don't have clean towels to dry myself off with out of the shower. My dishes are dirty. My dishwasher's broken. My sink doesn't work like it should. My doorknobs on all the doors in my house are loose. Not all of that is life and death. You don't really need to stress about all of that all the time. But if you're unable to do that and to do the things you don't want to do, then, well, fuck, you're be a miserable adult to be around. I've seen adults like this. I've seen 30-year-olds that live like they're 19-year-olds, and it's embarrassing. My sister, so let me tell you guys a story. I'm probably gonna wrap up the gameplay here because I have a topic I want to touch on, and then I'm gonna close it out. So, sorry, I'm done with Red Dead. I'm getting tired. Sorry. Okay. So my sister met up with a friend that she knew years ago when I think they would have both still been in like high school age. Okay, so she hadn't talked to him in like years, like almost a decade. But she met back up, she saw him on Facebook and was like, hey, how are you doing? And this guy was like, oh, hi, I'm still doing the same stuff and whatever. And she's like, cool. So she meets him and they're like, hey, you want to hang out? And so they hung out. And she came back home and she was like, he didn't mature at all. Like, his room and his house was a mess. Everything was still a mess. Everything was still a disaster. His clothes didn't seem washed. He had like I don't know if it was like anime posters or a body pillow. He seemed like an incel coomer living in a pigsty. And he was so juvenile. He's like in his late 20s and he's acting like, "Oh my god, there's a girl at my apartment. Haha, can I have a hug?" Like living like a 16-year-old almost. And when you do that, like that's sad. That's somebody that when they were told to take out the garbage, they resented it so much that as soon as they stopped being told to take out the garbage, they just never took out the garbage. So swallow that pride, because how do I say this respectfully? When someone like my sister goes to your pathetic house and you are an immature, anime-obsessed incel in a messy room wearing messy clothes asking for hugs, and you just seep immaturity when you speak. Girls like my sister leave, they go back home, and they tell their brothers that the dude is an incel. Not a... Yeah, it's not, no, it's not, it causes depression. You, as a person, do not get to live like a 19-year-old in your late 20s and go, "I'm depressed." Do something about it. "Oh, I can't because I'm depressed." Okay? Die miserably. Because if depression's the excuse, then death is the answer. If depression is a symptom that could be solved, hey, then you could be a human being. But if depression's just an excuse, then that's the only answer, because depression means you don't want to do anything. You don't want to, I know what it feels like. You don't want to shower, you don't want to brush your teeth, you don't want to eat, or you want to eat too much. You don't want to vacuum your floor, because what's the point? You're not worth it. I know the feeling. You have to come out of it. You have to grow the fuck up and realize that everybody's sad and everyone's depressed and everyone's going through traumas and tragedy all the goddamn time. And it's not that some people are better at dealing with it, it's that some people are dealing with it and some people aren't. It's not that they're better at it. Like, my dog recently died, and I decided that I'm not going to, it was hard because my mom was like, "Oh, do you want to get some like beer or something and relax?" I'm like, "No, I'm gonna live through this. It's gonna suck. I'm gonna sit in my room, I'm gonna cry, I'm gonna be sad, I'm going to be upset. I'm gonna let myself be upset. And then I'm gonna move on." And I learned that with my dad's death, because so death is like one of the most depressing things in the world. It will tear you apart when your father, your grandfather, your grandmother, your friend. I lost my grandmother, a friend that was my age, and my dad in a very short, and my aunt in a short amount of time. And it wrecked me. But so from that death though, the best thing you can get out of that death is stronger. You come out of the death and you're not an alcoholic that's beating your girlfriend. Maybe that's the goal. I remember there was a subscriber, it was in the chat, he broke my heart. He was talking about how his wife had died, and you know, I had to say, like, there is actually something that's good that can come out of a death. Death is life's hardest challenge. When you have to hold your family pet as their heartbeat stops, that's life's biggest test. That's not a test, that's not hard, that's not sad. It's one of the hardest things you will ever do in your entire life. If you can come out of that non-alcoholic, non-abusive, you don't tear down your family members, you don't yell at people, you don't scream at the doctor, you don't hit somebody because they cut you off, you don't cause road rage because of it. You don't hurt yourself. You honor the pet's memory, you honor your family's memory. When you're able to do that, right? Like, fuck, man. Like, there you go. There's your fucking life, dude. Like, there's a test you can pass and you can be better than it. If you live your life worrying about how depressed or how happy you are, good luck having a life. You're not going to have a life. But when the rain starts coming, when you have to take responsibility for things and you're able to do that, dude, Like when you're able to do that, it's important. Postpartum depression is not the same as clinical depression. Well, if you get diagnosed with actual clinical depression, then there's other things that have to be done. You know, antidepressants have to be taken, or and you know, behavioral therapy can fix depression. But the likelihood, the percentage chance that somebody's clinically depressed is very unlikely. A lot of people, when they're depressed, there are people that are depressed because they literally don't eat right. They have every symptom of depression because their diet sucks. The problem is that the youth of today is so obsessed with the idea of clinical depression that they think all depression is clinical depression. When your life is hard, depression can follow, and you have to work your way out of it. You have to look, if you can look at your life and everything's technically perfect, you're financially stable, you have good relationships with your family, you have good health. So you have good health, good relationships with your family, you have a job that pays well that you don't hate, and you're still depressed, then there might be, you might need to see treatment. You might need to get be on an antidepressant or something like that and look for solutions clinically. But you have people that are like, oh, I'm depressed and it's really bad. It's like, well, how's your relationship with your father? How's your relationship with your family? Your sister, your mother, your brother? Okay, do you have any friends? Do you have friends around you? It's like, oh, you don't have any friends, you hate your job, and you hate your house. That's not clinical depression, but it's gonna be damn hard to remove. But you can remove it, you can work it out. And that's different. Gamerboy Bathwater, I'm so glad, dude, because like it changed me, dude. Like dropping sugar, I had some sugar last night. I had some cookies, guys. There was cookies downstairs. I was starving. I had 3 cookies. But dropping sugar, like I think that's the most sugar I've had. I had a blizzard after my dog died. I had a Dairy Queen medium blizzard, and that was the most sugar I've had in one sitting in a long time. But not having sugar, it changes you. Like your like it changes like how you think. Like if you eat better and get more sleep. Like I encourage so many people to take a small dose of melatonin at night, about 20 minutes, 30 minutes before they want to fall asleep, and stop eating sugar. Your life could change very drastically. Very, very drastically. Gotta say no to desserts. Yep. Desserts, sugar. Well, the thing is, like, that's the thing about soda, man, is that you can drink soda all day. No one's really eating cake all day, but they're drinking soda all day, and that's so bad. Yeah, people are like, oh yeah, oh god, people that don't eat when they wake up, or they don't eat any protein. Like, if you're a teenager and you're going to school, stop staying up late, waking up early, eating Pop-Tarts for breakfast, and limping to school. You are not Superman. Get more sleep, take melatonin, get more sleep, get better sleep, eat eggs and meat in the morning. If you're a vegetarian, maybe just eggs, but eat protein. Solid fucking protein. It's really important. Now, there are some sugars I do like. I do like some natural sugars, like a glass of orange juice or like apple juice. If it's no sugar added, it's just the sugar that's from oranges and apples, that's good. I like that. What does melatonin do? Melatonin's in you already. Melatonin's what you produce in your body when you're about to go to sleep. So actually, when you're surrounded by orange light, your body starts to produce melatonin and it makes you tired. So when you start feeling that thing where you come down, your eyes start to get heavy, that's melatonin kicking in, to put it very simply. You can take melatonin. You can just go to the store and buy it. You don't have to be a certain age or anything. You can't overdose on it or anything like that. Just take like 5 milligrams and you'll sleep through the night because you'll just kickstart the melatonin creation in your body and you'll sleep better. He needs some milk. Drink water. Yes, be hydrated. So let's see. You don't want to be judged for feeling bad during tough times. That slows the process of recovery. Yes and no. So I'll be realistic here. I'll be practical. So, the weekend after my dog died, this month, Nobody in my house expected me to be in a good mood. The week after, nobody expected me to be in a good mood. Nobody in my house was really in a good mood. That dog was a pretty big part of our lives, and even saved our lives one night. But it's a story for another time. And yeah, but also nobody has to put up with you being an asshole and not showering and taking 4 months and not learning to get over it and not being kind to other people. Like, that's not judgment. That's, hey, clue in, other people exist. People that care about you want you to take care of yourself, and that might seem demanding or judgmental. You know, malnourished? I look malnourished to you? Did you just fall off a beat truck, buddy? Jesus. So, yeah, it's like you don't want to be judged for being in a bad mood. No, but if you're letting it destroy your life and you're using that as a reason to be a sweaty 28-year-old that does nothing but play video games and watch anime and acts like and literally doesn't act. I don't know. I'm not going to diagnose my sister's friend with depression because he wants to act 19. That's just a problem with young men these days. A lot of them. So they just live like that. So that's something, man. How'd they save your life? There was a burner turned on our stove because my grandma left it on when she had dementia. I didn't mean to do the cuckoo thing when I said dementia. I just meant pointing to the head. She had dementia, and she left a pan on the stove, and the metal started to catch fire. They started to flake and catch fire and spark. And the handle was made out of like a polycarbonate plastic thing, and it started to burn and melt. So the whole house was filled with smoke, and I was up in my room with headphones on, and everyone else was asleep. But my dog barked at everything. She used to bark at every single sound that would drive by the house. But that night, she barked a completely different way. It was a danger bark. It wasn't woof, woof, I heard a noise. It was this howling, help, help. Like, it was like this, I can't even recreate it. It was the scariest bark I've ever heard. And because of that, I took my headphones off, and I was just gonna go to bed, by the way. My bed used to be over here, so I was just gonna take my headphones off and go lie down. I wouldn't have looked downstairs. And the way she barked, and by the way, we didn't have smoke detectors plugged in. We had recently unplugged them because they were needing to have their batteries changed, and they were all going off, and we unplugged them. We had them in a box. We were like, okay, we'll put batteries in them tomorrow or whatever. So it was the worst time for this to happen. Keep your smoke detectors plugged in, kids. Or have an awesome dog who wakes up the whole house. And we went downstairs, and we had a ruined pan instead of my grandma being caught on fire or dead from smoke inhalation. So it was good. My dog absolutely fucking saved my grandma and potentially the house. Very, very good. That could have been a disaster. One special dog, yeah. Most household modern day dogs, they just sit, in I live in a neighborhood, dog doesn't go out and herd cattle or anything. They don't usually get to save your life, but that was a time that we could have found my grandma like burning alive, and so like that's like a serious problem, right? And so like I think my grandma's pajamas, because she was in the kitchen, like her pajamas on her arm were singed, but her skin was safe. So like perfect timing. I loved it. Very awesome. So, yeah, no, I'm pretty, but that's the thing is like, I don't understand the clinical depression claims, because you can't really, thanks, Sean. You can assume that every form of depression is clinical, and maybe from your own experience it always has been, but that's statistically very unlikely. most people that are depressed, and I even could use non-sarcastic air quotes, because I've been in serious depressive states before. A lot of times you have to ask yourself, if everything in your life is okay, and you feel like you don't even want to wake up in the morning, despite everything technically being fine, get that looked at. Don't ignore that. But if something's off, like you live in a dirty room, or hell, man, you don't even know. There are things that will build up in the back of your mind that they'll absolutely fucking wreck you. They will, just having a bad relationship with your brother. They will just having a bad relationship with somebody, or having an argument that's like unresolved, or, you know, feeling like you're eating, like honestly, like, you know, just not liking your weight and not feeling motivated to work out, and then that getting worse, you know, that's something you can work on. And it scares me how when somebody says, here's how you could slip into a depressive state and here's how you could avoid it, that the first thing people go to is like, what if it's clinical? It's like, how eager are you to have the most difficult to combat form of depression in the world? Or how eager are you to diagnose people with that or assume that? That's concerning. Because if you've been actually diagnosed by a professional with depression, which is what clinical depression would be, if you have that, then that's, first of all, very rare. And second of all, there are still things you can do. So I don't understand. And it's sad because especially like all these kids, you know, that are going through angst and puberty and their hormones are doing this on a daily fucking basis. Man, like, yeah, I don't know about depressed. Everyone that age is miserable. They're angry, scared, anxious, horny, prideful, arrogant, coming out of the narcissistic youth and going into the world. It's hard. It's just a hard time to be alive. So it scares me how many like under 18-year-olds, under 20-year-olds that are just like, I'm depressed. It's like, no, you got a bad grade, or you don't have friends, or you don't like how you look in the mirror. You're probably not depressed. You probably need a haircut, lose some weight, cut out the sugar, study harder, get a better tutor. Maybe you don't have a that's the thing, like you have kids that they just don't have meaningful relationships with their family, and they're like, oh, I'm depressed, and I'm clinically depressed because, you know, it doesn't go away. Like, clinically depressed doesn't mean it just doesn't go away. That's not what that means, because you can still, you can deal with clinical depression. Yeah, there's like a fetishization or romanticization of that, and that's hard. And you know, I remember there was that whole thing on the internet a while back, you know, a couple years ago. It's still around, unfortunately, but there was like a whole there was that whole thing where it's like, oh, just take a walk. Yeah, my depression is not going to be cured by throwing on some Skechers and walking around my neighborhood. It's like, statistically, it might. Like, statistically, you might. Statistically, you might come out of depression by making a friend, or dealing with responsibility. Taking on a responsibility like a pet, or even people found that babysitting is actually pretty, it's almost analgesic, I think is the term for when it kind of like numbs pain. Because some people, they live in this state of like sort of depressed anxiety, and they live that way, right? And then, well, they go take care of someone. They take care of a dog, or they take care of another human being. And they see their actions in the world benefiting people, and it can be very, very, very nice. Favorite type of liquor? Tequila, I guess. Recently, I've been trying to, dude, good luck getting in the Navy, man. I've almost heard it's harder to gain weight when you're skinny than it is to lose weight when you're chubby. Because I'm like a kind of a chubby guy. It's actually been pretty easy for me to like lose weight and get my jawline back. But I've heard it's when you're skinny, I've heard it's hard to bulk up. So good luck, man. It's a hard game. Yeah, it's kind of soothing. It can be very helpful. I noticed this with my dog. So when my dog got diagnosed with diabetes, there's not much you can do. Like throughout the day, basically what you do is you give them a shot after each meal of insulin. And the time in between those shots was anxiety inducing because I was just worried about my dog and I couldn't do anything. When my dog went blind, anytime I interacted with her, I was helping her. I was helping her through the house. And during the times, oh God, sorry. I drink too much water. During the times that I was helping the dog, like my dog, she would, you know, like bump into things and I'd help her learn the house. And so I noticed that when I was actively helping her, when I was actively interfacing with the thing that was giving me the anxiety, I was right in its face. I wasn't thinking about it. I was like helping. It cured it in the moment. And then as time went on, it was like, yeah, my dog's blind, but she's got me. So scary and sad, but also she's got me. And so when it feels, you know, you can, oh yeah, cognac's good too. I have a bottle of Hennessy downstairs actually. I haven't gotten into it yet, but it's funny when you have something that's anxiety inducing or stressful or depressing that's sort of hanging over your head and you start dealing with it. The initiative's hard. Like taking the initiative is hard, but once you're in it, it's like you're in combat with it. It's like exactly where you have to be. It's that perfect balance. You're not falling apart. Carl, I saw that you were saying that, you know, you love your dog and you're scared for the day that he's going to leave you. It's going to happen. So don't be scared of it happening. Be scared that you'll be weak. That's a better fear. It's a better thing to move away from. Fears are important. Be scared that you're going to fall apart and make his last moments horrible. That might sound super depressing, but it's going to happen. How are you going to be when it happens? Be scared of being useless. Don't be scared of it happening. It's going to happen. Everyone you know is going to die. It's going to suck. It's going to absolutely suck. There's no avoiding it. So like Jordan Peterson, the way he says it, be the strongest person at your father's funeral. If you can do that, you're literally taking life's hardest test and looking in the eyes and going, I'm going to deal with you. You're not haunting my dreams. You're not haunting my days. You're not taking my joy away. It's going to be hard enough already, but I'm going to work with you. It's hard. It's very fucking hard. But you can do it. Like you can do it very well. And you can impress everyone around you, but most of all, you're going to impress yourself. Because if you can be a rock for your dog when they need it the most, you're gonna carry that, and you can take pride in that. It's not selfish. You really can take pride in being the best dog owner in the world in that moment. Yeah, trying to be outgoing when you're more introverted, it's hard. It's a hard shift. It's a gear shift for sure. And don't be don't be antisocial. Don't be scared of being introverted, but don't be antisocial. So that's a good goal. You can embrace your introvertedness a little bit, and that's fine. But you know, it's good that you're working out of that. Get out of your comfort zone. The best things happen outside your comfort zone. Yeah, Carl, you'll do fine. And also don't put so much weight on last moments. You can't live for death. You live for life, death happens, but you can't live for death. You can't live every moment like it's got to be the last best seconds of anybody's life ever. That's just not realistic. So take those punches, and you might not be able to be the best person in the room. You might not be able to, but next time. Life's long. Life's painfully long. Yeah, I have 3 cats. I technically have 2 cats. My sister's cat I don't count because I hate that bitch. Not the sister, the cat. I hate her. I hate her cat. She's evil. But I have a cat. I have a cat named Bo, and a cat named Garfield, Garfunkel, or Opie. Those are the names he responds to. He's a big fat orange cat, so either call him Garfield, Garfy, Opie, and Garfunkel. Yeah, Garfunkel. I call him Garfunkel a lot. Fuck that fake it mess. I'm not talking about faking it. See, that's the thing, is that you actually don't have to fake it. You can actually be that strong. Like, it's not faking it. Be genuine. Like, oh yeah, the best thing you can do when your dog's dying is to give your dog a lot of stress by falling down and crying and feeling every emotion and being genuine, you know, just bawling and just making your dog's last moments stressful, terrifying nightmare. That's smart. Fuck no. Be stronger than the moment. That's not not being genuine. And also the best thing you can, if you think the best thing you can be in life is genuine, you're probably going to be insufferable to be around. Sometimes you actually have to brave things. Like, being genuine does not mean, well, it just shouldn't be your goal. Like, be genuinely strong, but be genuine is not an excuse to be a weak puddle of a man, or woman for that matter. No. Garfunkel, yeah. Not the sister. He's the Lorax. I should call him Lorax. And this thing is like I had to. So like my dog was blind and dying. We were gonna put her down, and my mom and I had this thing. We're gonna just not cry. We're gonna hold that back. We're not gonna be straight-faced and stoic. No, but we're not gonna fall apart, because I don't want my dog's last moments to be, because she's blind, you know, I don't want her last moments to be hearing her owners, the two most prominent people in her life, crying, because my dog knew what crying meant. My dog would always come up to us and lick our faces when we cried. My dog was very social. My dog knew what crying meant. So we treated it like she was just going to bed. We brought her bed into the hospital, the vet, and we were feeding her treats, her favorite treats, and saying, hey, it's time to go night-night. Just talking to her like she's about to go to bed. And we kept that going. The moment I felt her heart stop, my mom and I fell apart. Because we didn't want to fall apart in the moment. Like, that's not faking it. That's being the best version of yourself for as long as you can. You don't have to lie. But I gave my dog's, I'm proud that my dog's last moments were her on her comfy bed, eating her favorite snacks, getting petted and loved on, and just told, go night-night. We're kind of bossing her. We have like this jokey little tone. We're like, go to bed. Go night-night. What are you doing? It was great. I know that her last moments were not stressed or sad. Be genuine. There's nothing more genuine than giving my dog the best last 10 minutes of her life. Nothing more genuine than that. I'm not saying you have to never cry and don't show emotion, but it's good to, if you can be a little stronger than the situation, that's a super good life skill. Don't let anyone tell you it's not. Don't let anyone trick you into thinking that the best thing you can be is so involved in your emotions that you're insufferable to be around when shit hits the fan. Like the story of Noah. As soon as it starts raining, Noah doesn't shake his fist at God and go, hey, man, what's with all the water? He builds a fucking ark. So take that story's concept and apply it to your life. You don't want to build the ark. You don't want to have to leave your home and have it all flooded. But you do. You just do. Storm's coming. Your storm is always coming. Okay? Your storm is always fucking coming. There's gonna be a death. There's gonna be poverty. There's gonna be famine. Whatever it might be. Famine. Yeah, you're gonna go through all of the Egyptian plagues. I don't know. Maybe. You don't know. Something's gonna happen. Your girlfriend is gonna break up with you. Your dog is going to die. Your parents are going to die. Your favorite controller is gonna die. What a sad thing. You have a job. If you go out and get a job, or you go out and make money, and then you save it, you don't spend it impulsively, you save it, that way when your controller dies, you get a new one, you weathered a storm. You put a brave face on for your dog when they're dying in your arms. Let it loose when they're gone, because they can't hear you then, but you just braved a storm. At your dad's funeral, tell some jokes. Tell some nice anecdotes. Don't just sit in the corner and cry. I mean, if you really can't hold it together, then don't make yourself sick. but you can honor, but I made people, maybe they were laughing out of pity, but I was joking around. I was telling stories about my dad and joking around about things my dad used to do with him in a coffin like 20 feet away from me. And that's hard. But when somebody comes up to you and they're like, oh, I'm so sorry for your loss. And you can go, oh, it's all right. Here's some things, and it could have been worse. And this is a nice thing he told me once, and he always liked you. And I hope you know that my dad always liked you. Thanks for coming to his funeral. Weather a storm. Go home and cry your eyes out. My girlfriend, my mom, I'm not too manly to say. My mom and my girlfriend, my sister, they've held me while I've cried over lots of different things. But there's little storms you can weather. And, when I was younger, my parents would buy me new controllers if anything broke. I never really went through them that often. I think it was only twice anybody ever had to buy me a controller. All the other ones have been paid for by like running my YouTube channel over the last 5 years. But, it could be something little, like, yeah, your controller dies, but you put some money aside. You saved some money so that when your controller dies or your keyboard dies or something, you can repair it. There's something special there. There's something important about that. And, if you can make people laugh at a funeral, give your dog a good final moment, repair, or buy a new controller, like, then life's not constantly beating down on your head. Like, life's not constantly, like, it's not a constant storm and you don't know how to build a boat. I'll end the stream here with a little story, a little anecdote about my neighbors. So my neighbors I hope they're not listening because I don't want to, it's okay. It's not anything really terrible, but they made a mistake. Okay, so essentially, our family friend's wife, who's also a family friend, she was basically told, you're gonna have to get the brakes fixed on your van, because if the brakes don't get fixed, then the car is not gonna go, or it will. If you don't get the brakes fixed, all the car is gonna do is go, and you won't be able to brake your damn car. So that was talked about for months and was put off. So it was like, you gotta fix the brakes. Okay, I will. Never does it. Gotta fix the brakes. Use your day off. Go down, get the brakes fixed. Oh, I'll do it. Never does 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 it. So on the morning that my friend needs to go to where he's a teacher. He has to go to work. He needs to go to work and go teach in like an hour or two. She wakes him up and says, you need to drive me. The brakes don't work. That's not weathering the storm. You put it off until you inconvenience your husband on a day that he has to work. So then he had to get up earlier, drive her to work, and drive back. And by the time he got back, he just had to get ready to go to work. So he lost out, and that's bad. That's what it means, dude. That's, you don't want to do that. You don't want to be the person that, so you get a little paycheck. And let's say, like, if you're like me, you sit with around you have a couple $100 in your willing to spend account at all times. Don't spend all that on fast food and collectibles until you realize, oh my God, if my phone broke or if my controller broke, I can't afford to fix it. I had that problem last year. It was very serious, where I was like, I just started spending money and not thinking about it. It was just absent-mindedness, which is actually worse than being stupid. It's just completely oblivious. And I looked at my money and I was like, where did it go? And I looked at my purchases. I was like, oh, I'm a dumbass. And I hated myself for it. Kicked myself for that pretty hard. Because it's like, you know what? You're an adult. And when your stuff breaks, you're going to have to replace it. And then you realize, like, oh, wow, I took away my safety net. So if anything happened, I couldn't do anything. It's like, wow, I whittled away at my safety net like a child with an allowance. It was a weird time. I don't know why I did it. It's bad. Don't wait until tomorrow if you can get it done today. For the most part, yeah, like, you gotta weather the storms, man. You gotta power through tragedy. You gotta create nest eggs and safety nets and make friends and clean your damn room. Like, you know, the fact that the room you guys are seeing behind me used to be a garbage heap. I used to, like, not clean my room. There was just, like, garbage all around the walls, all around the corners, under my desk. And yet, like, the other day, actually yesterday, I bought this nice set of plastic non-see-through drawers under my desk so I have a place for my junk. Because I was tired of looking at junk everywhere. Because looking at junk everywhere clutters the mind and made my room feel messier than normal. So I just went and bought a pair of $20 drawers. They go under the desk. and I can sort all my stuff into there. So I have like some hot sauce packets, a bag of chips, my chewing gum, my flashlight, my knife, roll of paper towels in case I ever spill something, some collectibles. You know, it's nice. You know, it's good. You got to do little things like that for yourself. And you know, if you're ever feeling depressed or worn down, ask yourself what things you'd like to have changed in your life. If that list just keeps going, I wish I was more attractive, I wish I was healthier, I wish I liked my family more, I wish I had more friends, I wish I had this, I wish I had that. Make a plan according to that. Because it could be just one of those things that's really wearing you. Like, everything can kind of suck, but sometimes there's like one thing that's just wrecking you. So I'll tell you guys one more vulnerable thing. As long as I'm being vulnerable on this stream, I guess, whatever. I'm not even drunk. I'm not drunk enough to be this vulnerable right now. This is water, guys. This is not vodka. But I'll tell you this. Okay. What was I gonna say? I had actually a little anecdote. Crap, I actually forgot what I was gonna say. I don't know. Hey, thanks for coming on. Words. Thank you for becoming a member, Gonzo86. I think you've been a member before. Appreciate you, buddy. Show us your knife. It's actually over on my headboard. I was lying. This is the knife that I have on my desk that I don't consider clutter because it needs to be there. Glory, thank you guys so much for the memberships tonight, guys. It's been awesome with the memberships and everything. I was gonna tell a little anecdote. I was gonna be. I don't know what Darktide is. What is Darktide? I have no idea what Darktide is. Sorry. My repressed feelings for Jake? No. They're not repressed. I want to fuck his pussy. I don't know. I was gonna say something. It slipped my mind. I guess I'm getting too tired. Essentially, oh yeah, I guess that's what it was. I was nauseous all summer. So all last summer, I streamed less than I should. I uploaded less than I should because I was nauseous. My stomach didn't feel good. And what's really sad is that it was around the time, it was right after my dog got diagnosed with diabetes. And I didn't associate my stomach feeling sick with her being ill or finding out that she had a disease. And then after we put her down, the knot in my stomach untied. And I realized because she was declining, her health was declining throughout the summer. Because her health was declining throughout the summer, and I was noticing it. Maybe not actively thinking about it, but I was noticing, you know, her sight was getting worse, her legs were getting weaker. You got to the point where she couldn't even walk anymore. And, you know, it was hard, and I knew it was hard, and I knew it was sad, but I didn't realize it was what was wrecking my stomach. My stomach feels fine now. I get a little bloaty because I ate way too much Tex-Mex, but but that's what was doing it. You don't know. You'll never know. If you feel depressed, nauseous, anxious, upset, worried, yeah, it could be clinical. You might need to take something. A supplement could help. L-Dopa, L-theanine, HTP5, I think is the thing that's like the serotonin precursor. You could be vitamin D deficient. That's a big one. Vitamin D deficiency shit. Because if you are vitamin D deficient, you can't make serotonin, so no happy times. So, you know, it could be a lot of things. You don't know. Maybe it's your grades. Maybe it's your work ethic. Your own work ethic could be bothering you, and you just don't think about it, but it drives you insane. And, you know, it's funny. I've seen people, they've been sort of not themselves. They'll do something. They'll break up with a toxic girlfriend. They'll finally get a new car. They'll finally get a new job. And they change. Like overnight. It's like they change overnight. It's like suddenly they're telling jokes and they're cracking laughs and they're themselves. I don't know how else to say it. Like, it's funny, like, I watch people that, you know, they go through like the school year and they're kind of on and off, highs and lows. They get off of school and they have a break in front of them. They have like a 3-month break, and they just lighten up. It's like, of course, like obviously they're excited about their break. When someone's entire personality changes, it's probably because the thing that they're dealing with is it's warping them. It's tying knots in their stomach. It's taking up space in their mind. It's ruining their sleep. Like after my dog died and I didn't have to worry about her being downstairs anymore. I didn't have to worry about her falling down or bumping into things or I mean, hell, if you have a diabetic dog and they throw up, like then they have insulin and no protein. They have no food in their system, and that's a problem, right? So like you're just worried. It was wrecking me, and suddenly I could sleep. Suddenly I could eat. Suddenly my stomach wasn't in turmoil anymore. Suddenly I was more lighthearted. I could focus on writing scripts again. You don't know. You don't know what's weighing on you. You probably don't know. If you're a normal human person, like you don't know. You don't know what's weighing. It could be 100 things, and that's a good thing, because then you can find it and kill it like a dragon. It's awesome. Yes, I have to go as well, guys. It's tight. Yeah, get some character development. Oh, I do not. Yeah, I'm not really a Warhammer guy. I might try it if it's on Game Pass, but I don't think it's gonna be. Christianity and its morals are very important. I see, I think dogmatic religion has a place, but it's not my thing. I like spirituality. I like stories. I like archetypes. I think you can look into the Bible and read it as a set of archetypes, especially if you live in like Western culture, you live in like Canada, the United States. You can see the building blocks of the rights that you have, and it's really cool. It's fun to see that. But I have to go. I am gumming up. My throat and everything is like gumming up, and I feel dehydrated. It's been fun though. It's been fun though, guys. I think I talked too much. I think I'm running out of throat. I think I talked too much throughout the weekend. I've recorded too many things. I might not have a video for Tuesday because of that, but we'll see how I feel tomorrow. Gonzo, Sean Gray, and Snowy Sniper Matsuki, thank you guys so much for the donations, and thank you, or the memberships. Thank you so much for the, oh yeah, and then you also donated, Matsuki. And Mechanized and Weaponized, thank you so much for your donation as well. So 2 donations and 3 memberships. Guys, thank you so much. It means so much, guys. I love you guys. It's been fun. These streams are great. It was nice to not talk about Call of Duty. It was nice to talk about life. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you, Gonzo. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate you. Oh, don't say throat goat. Oh my god.